Hello, hello, everyone, and good evening. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone? All right, hola a todos, ¿cómo están? All right, so for those that do not know me, welcome. Soy Rosita, soy entrenadora de vocalización y también de idiomas. Y enseño a las personas a hablar y cantar en diferentes idiomas. I teach people how to speak and sing in different languages. So, in today's class, we're going to go ahead and we're going to learn about Spanish adjectives. We did begin this last week, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to review a couple of things that we have learned so far. So, la regla básica para usar correctamente los adjetivos en español es que los adjetivos siempre deben concordar con el sujeto que califican y también en género. La gran diferencia es que en español todos los adjetivos son singulares o plurales. And what did I just say in Spanish? You're probably wondering. So, the basic rule of Spanish adjectives correctly is that in Spanish, adjectives always have to agree with the subject that they are qualifying and in gender as well. Now, the biggest difference is that in Spanish, all the adjectives are either singular or plural. ¿Estamos? Are we okay? Let me know in the chat. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay. So we learned two different kinds of adjectives. We learned about quantitative adjectives and qualitative adjectives. And knowing these kinds is going to help you know where you are going to place these kinds of adjectives. So let me just go ahead quickly. I'm going to grab my whiteboard really fast. Give me 1 moment here. Mate kudasai. I haven't used this for a good while. There we go. Okay. Let me explain, mis amigos. So, if we have descriptive adjectives, this is going to take me about 10 years. Please be patient. If we have, okay, I'm just going to put this down here. There we go. Descriptive adjectives. I'm just going to go ahead and abbreviate this. In Spanish, we are going to place them after the noun. I wish I had my iPad pencil. After the noun. Okay, so por ejemplo, for an example, if I wanted to say, we're going to go basic here, we're going to go full on basic, the red house. La casa roja. So here, roja, a color, is a descriptive. I'm describing the subject here. So descriptive adjectives are going to describe the characteristics of the subject, of the noun. Now notice how this ends in roja and not rojo. Why is that? As I briefly mentioned before, that Spanish adjectives have to match not only the quantity, but it also has to match the gender. So if the noun is feminine, like in this case, la casa, the house, then therefore the adjective has to be feminine. Now, la mayoría del tiempo podemos cambiar el adjetivo si termina con pues, una O, ¿va? Podemos si el adjetivo termina con un O, está en su forma masculino. Pero si cambiamos la O para la A, y entonces ya está por el femenino. So if the noun ends with an O, it's going to be masculine, and if we change it to an A, then it's going to be feminine. So la casa roja. But let's say I was talking about a book. So here we have el libro. So if I want to say the red book, sería el libro rojo. So here, libro is masculine. There's two ways I'm able to identify that. One, this word ends with an O. Two, I have el before libro. So that also tells me that I'm dealing with a masculine noun. So therefore, I'm going to change rojo, which again means red, to its masculine form. Hay preguntas. Are there any questions? ¿Estamos bien? Okay. Now, the second kind, which is quantitative, but sometimes you'll also find them as limiting Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. Limiting adjectives. You know, okay, limiting. And then I'm just going to go ahead and abbreviate this. Okay. Now, limiting adjectives expresses the quantity of the noun. It indicates amounts. Also, limiting adjectives can talk about the possession of something. And also we have demonstrative adjectives. So these kinds of adjectives are going to be placed before the noun. Before the noun. So let me go ahead and give you guys some examples here. Now, if I wanted, and I'm going to go ahead and just grab my Zoom really fast because that would be a lot better and a lot easier for me to write on. That was what I was going to do originally, but you know, you try things and you realize that things don't work, so you're like, okay. All right, mátate. Just go ahead and hide close doc. There we go. Okay. Oopsies. Okay, nope, we're good. We are good. We are good here. I know exactly what I'm doing. Kind of. Sort of. Sorry, I teach 3 different languages, so you guys will probably indirectly learn one or the other in all my classes. So, okay, here we go. So, por ejemplo, limiting adjectives. I want 2 ice creams. Or let's say 2 ice cream cones. Excuse me. Quiero 2 helados. Pues, uno con fresa y vainilla y la otra con chocolate y fresa. Yeah. So, quiero 2 helados. So, this will be good for you to practice when you order things in Spanish at a Spanish restaurant or a Mexican restaurant or a Guatemalan restaurant. A restaurant that has Spanish cuisine or Latin American Spanish cuisine. Quiero 2 helados. Or, as I mentioned, limiting adjectives can express possessive. It can be possessive. So for an example, mi carro. My car. Also, I talked about quantity, right? There is less snow. Hay menos nieve. There's less snow. And descriptive adjectives, as a reminder, are going to be placed after the noun. La casa roja. El libro rojo. Now, I am positive that there has been a time in where you guys have seen that a descriptive adjective has been placed before the noun. So you're probably wondering to yourselves, who's right? Well, we all are. Let me explain. For emphasis, whenever we want to emphasize a particular characteristic of a noun, it is then and only then in where we can place that descriptive adjective before the noun. But it's usually only for emphasis, nada más, nothing more. Okay. Let me go back to my notesies. There we go. Now, today's class, we are going to go ahead and talk about we're going to talk about a couple of adjective forms. There are other kinds of adjective forms that we did not talk about. And here we're going to talk about the shortened forms. Now, what on earth do I mean by shortened forms? Let's go ahead and bring the book over here. I'm going to stop. Oh, no. Stop share. Stop share. Stop share. There we go. So, let's take a look at them before we get into business. So, these are examples of basic adjectives in their short forms. So we have alguno, bueno, malo, ninguno, primero, tercero, uno. But look what happens to when it's used here. It's not alguno libro. It's not a bueno consejo. Oh, that felt wrong. It's not a malo ejemplo. Notice that they dropped the O. What is going on? What is going on? Okay. There are a category of adjectives that will have shortened forms. In Spanish, we call them apocopes. So this means there's a category of masculine adjectives and where we are going to drop the O before the noun. So that's why we're not going to say bueno amigo. Now, if I placed bueno after amigo, then entonces sí. But if I'm using the shortened forms are going to belong to before the noun. And again, this rule only applies to the masculine forms. Let's see, just right. Another example. No, sorry, not another example, but also take a look at alguno and ninguno. When you use the shortened form for these, and this is, okay, to be honest, this is something that you don't have to memorize or remember. This is not a priority thing to add to your memory. But later on, when it comes to conversation, just a little bit, we are going to add an accent to these shortened forms. Now, another thing that I want to bring up is the number 100. 100. Now, when we are using the number 100, like it's exactly 100, we are going to use 100. So again, 100 is used for the number 100. And numbers are indeed adjectives. And since numbers are form of limiting adjectives, they're going to be placed before a noun. But 100 can be placed before either a masculine or a feminine noun. So $100, 100,000 millones, which, you know, that would be nice. Like we could feed the world with that kind of money twice over. Now, what about siento? So we know siento as, you know, saying 101, 102, 103, 104, etc., ¿verdad? Pero, excuse me, if I wanted to say 199, 199 sillas en este salón. So that's just a basic introduction to shortened forms. So let's go ahead and do an example. Sorry, something scared me. So this is for my later beginners. So ones that have been taking my private lessons with me that are in this group, I would like for you guys to do 18-9. 18-9. So, ¿tienes algunos amigos en otros países? Let's try this all together, even for my beginners, okay? So, can you guys tell me, either in the live chat or in the comments below, amigos, is this masculine or is this feminine? What is it? Amigos, masculine or feminine? It's masculine, ¿verdad? Now, here's the question. Am I going to use algunos amigos? Or am I going to use algún amigos? Think of the question carefully. Look at it. Let me know. Yui-san! Yui-san! Oh, girl, I got news for you, and I am super proud. But well, I'll tell you later. So, ¿qué significa amigos primero? Amigos are friends, right? So for number one, how are we going to conjugate algún or algunos? It's true though. It's true. Algunos, because it's plural. No, you know what? I can't hold it. I cannot hold it. Today I started my script in teaching Spanish in Japanese. I started that today, and I am just I'm excited. Can I just say I'm excited? I'm super excited. Okay, anyways. It's gonna be a long while till I finish it, but I did start it. I'm like, yes! Okay. But I would love for you to go over the script, though. So, that's why I need to talk to you, Chica. All right. So, for homework 18-9, go ahead and challenge yourself. Now, other considerations about the positions of adjectives. More than one adjective can modify a noun. We do this in English. Now, how we do this is, well, we're going to follow the same rules of what we just learned. Two or more adjectives may follow the noun. And just like in English, they're going to be either linked by a conjunction or it's going to be separated by a comma. She is not impatient or spoiled. No es impaciente o consentida. Oh, she has a pleasant small dog. Oh, tiene un perro simpático y pequeño. But if, according to the rules, one of the adjectives precedes the noun, it remains in place. Now, this is going to apply for shortened forms and any adjective that has a different meaning when placed before a noun. What on earth did I just say? They used to live in a grand medieval castle. Vivían en un gran castillo. So, gran being short for grande. Medieval. Yes. Medieval, medieval. Same difference. Same spelling, same spelling. Okay. Hay preguntas. Are there questions? You guys doing okay? Okay. So let's go ahead and just review the things that we have learned so far, and then we are going to go over, yeah, let's just go over these things because afterwards it's going to get like, ¿qué? All right. So, rules of adjectives in Spanish. 1, the gender, the adjectives have to match the gender of the noun. And it has to match the quantity of the noun. Example here, let's take bueno. Bueno is singular masculine. Buena is singular, well, singular feminine. Now, these are forms of descriptive adjectives. Now, I know we just saw the short forms and it was before a noun. But if we place them after the noun, then that's when you can use bueno. Okay? So, él es bueno. Ella es buena. Él es perezoso. Ella es perezosa. Él es precioso. Ella es preciosa. Now, the plural forms, and this is something that we talked about last week. If the adjective ends with essentially a vowel, we're just going to add S. And if the adjective ends in a consonant, then we're just going to add ES. So, for those that were not here last week, what I would like to challenge you guys to do will be 18.1. Masculino o femenino. Escribe la forma apropiada del adjetivo entre paréntesis. So you are going to see if we're going to use the masculine or feminine forms here. Now, if you don't know the meanings of these adjectives, that is okay. Está bien. We're just applying the grammatical rules to the adjectives that you see here. With that said, see how many adjectives that you are able to recognize. And that also reminds me, for those that are interested, because this is the textbook that we are going to be using for Spanish Grammar Made Easy. Practice Makes Perfect. This is the 4th edition. So I will leave actually, let me do that now before I forget, because your teacher has a memory of a fish. True story. And I generally do like this textbook. I like how they explain things for the most part. There are a couple of translations that are a little bit iffy, but when it comes to like a self-learning textbook for Spanish, this is one of my favorites. So give me a second. I'm going to leave that link right now. What was it called? Practice makes perfect. Complete span. My goodness. Practice makes perfect. Complete Spanish grammar. I lost my YouTube. Thank you guys for your patience. There we go. Save. There you guys go. Thank you again for your patience. So go ahead. I would like for you to challenge you to do 8 to 18-1. And for my more advanced, I would like for you guys to please do, what was it, 18-9, I said? Yes. Please do 18-9. ¿Tienes algunos amigos en otros países? Sí. Tengo algunos amigos en otros países. Okay. All right, guys. That will conclude class for today. I hope you guys learned at least one fact. And Yui-san, I will be messaging you shortly because I have a proposition for you, young lady. All right. Until next time, I shall see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.